Hey guys, Eric Sargent, General Manager at Ed Martin Toyota, and today we're going to show off a 2021 base lane cruiser build that we did. This is a car that was bought in Indianapolis, and the customer, while was in Indianapolis, why not send it to Ed Martin Toyota to get some freshen ups. So this car is going to go to California in a couple days, but we're going to take a minute and just kind of walk around the car and tell you all about what we did to make it special. So for starters on it, we do have the suspension. It's got a 2-inch lift on it, an OME BP-51 lift. You'll notice that this is a different set of wheels that we don't typically use. This is actually the first time we've used these. These are the Icon Rebound Pros. It's a 17-inch wheel sitting on a Toyo Open Country Ultra AT3. It's a 285/75/17. What makes this different than a normal Rebound is that you'll notice that it has kind of this, not bead lock, but kind of these bolts actually they're individual bolts. They don't come in the rim, and then basically you'll stick those in about halfway, seed the tire on it, and then deflate it, and then kind of air it up. And then as you put these bolts in there, they actually go in all the way, and it kind of creates a wall just to have additional seating in the event that you're running on low pressure and it came off. So these bolts do extend out another inch or so and do create a faux wall behind there, and then you secure them down with a 12 or 13 millimeter socket. So it's a really cool wheel, and I think it's really practical for an off-road situation. Underneath the car, protecting the car, we have the SLEE LX570 Rock Sliders. And as you can see on the floor, the lights are on. So I'm going to go ahead and lock the car. Actually, I won't lock because the key's in it, but the rock lights will shut off after about a minute. And then when you unlock the car, they'll go ahead and turn back on. And then when you lock the car, of course, they shut off automatically. So they act as a true puddle light, and then there's an override switch on the inside. So if you wanted to turn them on, you could. To the trained eye, you'll notice that, again, this is a base model. But it does have, instead of having a chrome lower door molding, we did paint it 1F7 silver so that it matches the paint, and so it kind of blends in a little bit more incognito. And then the mirror caps are Heritage Edition mirror caps. So as you may know, that the black mirror caps on a Heritage with this nice little chrome swoop design in it. You can buy a Heritage Edition mirror cap and just pop off the old one that's silver, and then pop on the black one. Then you don't have to worry about wrapping it in vinyl or painting it and then not holding up, but you actually have a true black from the factory mirror cap on this car, and they're super inexpensive, and we do sell them on our website, and I'll put a link to buying that in the comment section. But kind of walking around the back of the vehicle, we did add the Land Cruiser Heritage Edition D-pillar badging. Again, this is a base model, but it does have the Heritage D-pillar badging just for additional style. In the back, we have our red-white hatch lights, I guess. They're made by Whalen. And then we have the switch for that. Normally, we kind of put it right here in this plastic piece above the, right here in the hatch. But over here, so again, white off and then red. So we have the ARB drawers. These are the standard size 11-inch roller tops on both sides. So whatever side you want to put your fridge on or whatever, you can just pull on that. This has the takeoff seats wrapped in plastic, because this is going to California, so this is all nice and wrapped up at the moment, so I can't show that off. But we do have the takeoff components for the seat belts and such inside the vehicle. And then what we did here that's a little bit different, this has a dual battery system, which we'll talk about here in a minute when we look under the hood. But right back here, we added a couple controls that we don't typically do. So for starters, we do have an inverter behind this drawer system, the side piece on the drawer. It's the RedArc inverter. It's the 1,000 watt. And then we added an extension cord from the inverter to right here. So this is only a 6-inch run or so, but you have the power without having to open this up. The inverter power on-off button, again, it's the RedArc remote inverter switch. So that's located right here in the drawer system as well. And then also a couple USB ports, a USB-A and a USB-C. That's the QSMAL. So that's on the right side. Now on the driver's side, we have a couple more USB ports, another USB-AC, just like on the other side. But we also have a RedArc dual voltage gauge. So we're isolating and charging the AUX battery with the RedArc DC-DC under the hood, and we'll show that off in a moment. But we also have the dual battery gauge, and right now it's off, so it's kind of like in a dormant mode. But we'll B-roll over what I'm talking about now, so you can kind of see the actual RedArc gauge installed, but it does have battery 1 and battery 2 voltage, and also there's an amp meter that you, accessory that you can add to that as well if you want to. So that's it back here. Actually, it's not it back here. There's another thing that we'll talk about real quick. We did add an additional backup camera, and this is the Voxx one. I made a video on it about a year ago or so, which we can kind of link to up here on the side of the screen. But this is actually an upgraded model. It's got more of the actual night vision or auto dimming mirror is kind of more, there's no border around it. So it's an upgraded model. And it's a little bit bigger screen, and the camera's right here. So this doesn't protrude any kind of additional, there's no additional loss of visibility for having that there. And then also, when I shut the hatch, we'll notice that we do have a couple extra reverse lights here. So when the car's in reverse, it's automatically going to turn on these rigid lights. They're the standard white scene lights, the 1x2s. Obviously, we did disassemble the housing of it, painted them silver to match the car when we did the lower door moldings. So it blends in nice and uniform with the vehicle, and they're kind of discretionary, just kind of incognito, sitting there upside down on the spoiler. Let's walk over here to the front, and we'll take a look under the hood. So you'll notice that there is the same lights that we use for the hatch lights. We also have hood lights to get the same light. It's actually the exact same switch. I'm going to go ahead and leave it on. We do have a pin trigger override, so that if you want to, if you accidentally leave the lights on and then you shut your hood, it's going to automatically turn the lights off. So that's a nice little safety override, so you don't have to actually worry about draining your battery potentially. ARB dual air compressor, twin air compressor right here. We did add, we have the normal chuck right here in the front, but we also added one in the rear. So again, we'll B-roll about right now with the additional rear chuck, so you can see it, and that's why you'll see the extra solenoid here. Additionally to that, we also have a set of airbags on this vehicle, just to kind of delete the additional, offset the tongue weight and the rake of the vehicle when it's under load. It's the AirLift system, and I'll show you the remote control for that here momentarily. And if you're interested more in that, we have another separate video on that describes it. Standard battery for cranking is your Group 31 lead acid Toyota True Start crank battery. This is not the OEM battery that comes with the vehicle. This is the True Start auxiliary replacement. This car actually, although we're already in June of 2023, this car is 2 years old and it has 200 miles on it. So this car was sitting for a long time, and before the owner purchased it. So the battery was dead. We replaced it with the Toyota True Start battery, and then on the actual auxiliary battery side, we have an Odyssey Extreme Group 35, and it's mounted with the SLEE auxiliary battery tray. These are also the SLEE upgraded military battery terminals right here, and then of course you can see the actual mega fuses for the dual battery setup. So we have it charging with a BCDC 1225D RedArc. We have the additional rear power mega fuse going to the back, mounted right back here on the firewall, and then your normal 40 amps for your twin air compressor, and then of course it's powered by a Switch Pro, which we'll show that here in a moment too, and then the BCDC, and then the SBI 12. The SBI is here is going to be linked over to the main battery, so that in the event that your crank battery ever dies, you can press one button on the Switch Pro and crank it and jump start it with the auxiliary battery. So that's pretty much it under the hood. Let's take a look on the inside real quick. On the right side of the steering column, we added in a couple extra USB ports. There's a USB-A and a USB-C. This particular USB port that was kind of designed to fit in this Toyota size switch. It's a really nice location for any kind of accessory that may run on USB or even a phone. But it does have like a glow around it, so we did wrap this in a piece of vinyl, like just normal traditional automotive vinyl that you use on the exterior of a car, just to kind of eliminate that trim ring. We added a Viper DS4 on this vehicle for the customer as well, so that it can be started, and the health analytics and GPS coordinates can be monitored through the app on the phone. And then also on the left side of the steering column, we have the RedArc trailer brake controller. That about wraps up this build. If you liked the video, please hit thumbs up and subscribe, and stay tuned for a really special Land Cruiser build that we're working on, and we should have it available soon. Please hit like, thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel.